My wife had a couple questions.
Yes.
I don't want to let you go without asking a couple things.
Absolutely.
Are you with a publishing company?
Yes.
And what's the name of that publishing company?
Candlewick Publisher.
And how long you guys been working together?
With Candlewick, our first book, Whitewater, going back, Whitewater was optioned, and it actually, after they optioned it, it took 5 years to come to market. Why? Initially, Kadir Nelson, who is the preeminent children's book illustrator, Kadir, his schedule was so packed, he suggested another writer. I'm sorry, not writer, but illustrator. And 2005, so we have been with the Candlewick family since 2005, and they have published 3 of our books, and we have a 4th one being optioned now.
Awesome. What advice would you give to artists on their professional journey, whether it be
Persistence.
persistence?
Persistence. From my experience, what happens is that individuals, it's very easy to lose heart because you have a vision, I have a vision, and when you have an idea, guess what? There are hundreds of other folk that have the same idea at the same time.
Yeah.
But it is the persistence of the individual that says, no matter what, I like to see it happen, be a reality. I mean, for me, my enjoyment is getting emails from kids all over the world that says, I read your book, and can you tell me something about it? Did it really happen, et cetera, et cetera? You know, and because of being fortunate in the publishing business, I have traveled near and far and met individuals from all over the world.
Awesome. One more question.
Yes.
Do you ever get writer's block, and if you do, how do you overcome it?
Every day.
Every day?
I personally make it a habit of putting something down on paper every day the good Lord says. It doesn't have to be I don't write it to say, hey, you know what, this is going to be the next blockbuster, but just get in the habit of doing it. But you talked about writer's block all the time. How do I overcome it? Walk away from it? Fortunately, I've had writing partners, and we zap each other, say, what do you think about this? And don't be afraid to say, that sucks. Or they tell you it sucks. Put ego aside, and that's been a tough one.
On the writer's block note too, does it go away when you're influenced? Or you have like that?
You know what? There are times when you say, man, I can't think. Nothing's coming to mind. And what happens is that sometimes out of just strange, and I use the word serendipitous a lot, I know, but it's true, there are things that can trigger something that helps you to think about something else. I have a tendency to sit out on the porch, and I enjoy listening to the wind whistling through these palm trees, and I think to myself, all right, what happens if, and just the other night, my granddaughter was playing a gospel song, and I was listening to it, and I was just, what if the palm trees, they were a choir? And I just certain things just tweak you, and but to ultimately answer yes, I get writer's block.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. See,
Yeah. On that note too, before we, before it gets to the closing, like when it comes to like the writer's block and the motivation and everything, like do you feel like also if maybe like that particular topic too or whatever isn't, there's not a lot going on too, and you may be the only one kind of on it, does that make it like, oh, I'm the only one kind of doing this right now,
Right.
opposed to, and then everybody else kind of wants to jump on it after, and maybe on the low it was the trend
Yes.
as you said it, but does that also
Well, I guess you would call that ultimate trend setting. I marvel at folk that are much better at this than I am, because I try to glean something from what they have done. But I think you are asking, well, sometimes when you write something that it's not necessarily the norm or not necessarily what's current, and I guess it doesn't have to be. For me, I have found a niche in writing children's books that deal with really tough subjects, particularly subjects of race.
Yes, that's what.
And fortunately, with Candlewood Press, is that they said, let's try to explore this more. I mean, I'm not the only guy that's out there that's doing these kinds of things.
Right.